Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the lovely Miss Lady Pop Hunter. Lovely and talented Miss Lady Pop Hunter here with another nostalgic discussion. And today the topic is, of course, the restaurant experience. And I know we talked about this a little bit before, but it really comes up out of a picture I put up on the Facebook group, on Open by Chance on Facebook, for those of you who don't know. And that was a comparison. It had a vintage, like 70s/80s McDonald's restaurant, and then a modern one pictured underneath. And just to gauge, you know, hey, who remembers this? Who misses this? And it you know, it touched a nerve with a lot of people because they were like, wow, look at the, you really think about the difference between the way that the restaurants appeared. The one in the 70s, it looked fun. You know, just looking at the outside of it, you know, the sloped roof, and it's red, and it's got the M, and you knew it, even though there's nothing special necessarily about the way the building looks, but you know what it implies when you see it. And then you look at that modern building, and it looks like the UPS store.
It's all sterile and no attraction. And the thing...
it's a gray box.
Yeah, but some we talked about before, and if you think about it, every restaurant had its own shape. So even... like sometimes you would see the restaurant and it's shut down. It done took all of the signs down, the monikers, all of that's gone. But you can look at the shape of that store and be like, wow, that was a Burger King, that was a McDonald's, that was a KFC, a Taco Bell or something. But and now you ride around, they all look the same. They all sterile. They look like a car repair shop because it looked like you can pull up the windows.
Lego block buildings.
Yeah, they have no character to it, to the actual building. It's all sterile, stripped down. If they took all of the monikers off, you wouldn't know what it is. Yeah. You couldn't look at that. Oh, okay, that used to be a McDonald's. You can't say that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, and for example, and even when my kids were very young, and I used to bring them to International House of Pancakes, because all those abbreviations didn't exist at the time. It wasn't IHOP, it was the International House of Pancakes, and on Wednesdays kids ate free. And it was a big deal for them. And that's when an International House of Pancakes had the big blue roof.
Yeah,
you remember, it was
big blue slope
huge roof. Sloping roof. It was a house, International House of Pancakes. The roof was like 3 stories high, and it sloped all the way down. You knew what it was. You could see it a mile away. And the kids liked to go there. They wanted to order breakfast food. Didn't matter what time of the day it was. It had a child theme available for it, just like McDonald's did. And I guess McDonald's is really the big one for a lot of people, because they had the whole playland, and they had the seating section. They had the kids section with like little hamburger seats and all this other stuff that they don't do anymore. Some of them still have a playland attached, but it's not the same. Those are the ones that haven't been renovated yet, because they're doing away with that completely. They look like, and I've made the reference, they look like a subway stop. When you go in, that sterilized, as you said. Here's some steel chairs and a couple of benches and a tile wall. It feels like you're sitting at a subway station waiting for the train.
Yeah, they want you to get in and out. Don't sit around and talk and just, you know, hang out. This ain't a hangout. But
don't hang out, get out.
Yeah, eat your food and move on.
They got the kiosks set up because they don't even want to bother with having you go and deal with a cashier anymore. And the prizes, I mean, they still have like a kid's meal and a little prize. It's not the same thing. That kid doesn't care.
Yeah,
it's not like
now
when
it's
we
in
were
a
kids.
bag, not in a box.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not the same as when we were kids, and it's like, you really wanted that Happy Meal prize. It's like, oh man, I can't wait to see what it is. Or you knew what it was from the commercial, and you wanted to complete your set. And nowadays, kids, they get that toy. We've been to a couple of McDonald's. We don't really go anymore, because we used to go for like a tea and fries, and even that's not good anymore.
No.
But you'd see those prizes in the garbage there. The kids don't even care.
But you would collect, because I have some, the Happy Meal boxes. Oh, yeah. Because you can buy those on eBay. And you can collect all of the different boxes. They usually came in sets of 4. And they were different. Right. But it had like different a theme. Because I got like the Bernstein Bears one. And I think the Peanuts. And I got a couple of others. But
even the box meant something.
Yeah. And you would collect the box. Now they just have... When I worked at McDonald's, they had already transitioned to the bags, and you had the bag, and the bag had like a picture and puzzles and crosswords, and we used to work at the back booth.
That was in the 90s.
Yeah, I worked there in the 90s after high school, and we had to make the Happy Meal bags if you worked in the back booth. Your job was to make Happy Meal bags. You just put the bags together and throw the toy in there.
Yeah, girl or boy.
Girl or boy toys. And, nobody collect those bags. At least I don't see them on eBay. Maybe they do, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
Not like the boxes. And people collected the toys. You can still go on eBay, or when you go to shows, they have a bin of Happy Meal prize toys, because some people look for them. I bought a few,
and they're not expensive because they made millions of them.
Yeah.
But people rummage through those bins.
Yeah, looking for certain ones.
They want those.
But will people look for the current one, the one that's out right now? Are you going to actively look for that in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah.
Those Happy Meal prizes.
Probably not.
Because I think they're so. Funko Pops.
Yeah, Funko has made Happy Meal prizes.
Yeah, because I remember I took one of our clients. She had missed lunch. I took her to the doctor. We thought we would have been back. She missed lunch, so I had to take her to get something to eat. She wanted McDonald's, and she eats the Happy Meal prizes. Eats the Happy Meal.
And sometimes the prize.
Yeah. No. and she was like, I want a Happy Meal. So I got her a Happy Meal. And the toy, she was like, where's my toy? I gave it to her. And I was like, is this a toy? It was like a Funko Pop, like a little smaller one.
Thing, yeah, a little tiny one.
I was like, wow, this is what they give now? But yeah, that's what it is.
And even so, that might have meant more in our day if you got something like that, But because back then it meant more to us than it does to the modern era of children.
Yeah, yeah. But then also at fast food restaurants, nearly every one of them had a kids club, and you fill out the little thing. Even at like Denny's and Red Lobster had kids clubs, and you could, they gave you the little mat with the coloring, and you can fill out the card with your name on it.
It was free.
It was free, and you get points and all of that. You get a little something for your birthday, a little free fry or drink or something.
I was in the Burger King Kids Club, and every year they would send me a calendar. Yeah. It was a Burger King calendar, and it had on the bottom of the calendar, for every month was a couple of coupons that were good only for that month.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was free. It was like free, one coupon, free cheeseburger, free small soda, whatever, or free French fries, free onion rings, or whatever. Its combination was usually two, I think, on the bottom of the thing for a free item each, only good for that month, because I was in the Burger King Kids Club, and they sent me a card. I had a little card. It had a Burger King stamp on it with my name on it and stuff like that. Yeah. And all of those restaurants did something like that.
Yeah. Pizza Hut had a kids club.
Pizza Hut's a big one for a lot of people, too, up there with McDonald's.
Yeah. They all had it, but all of the kids clubs are gone now.
Yeah.
You don't get the glasses, the collect off for
that was a big deal
glasses. Too.
From the 60s through to about the mid-90s is the last time I remember that, because I know like the Flintstones movie had glasses.
Smurfs had glasses.
And the Batman, I'm talking 90s related.
Oh, yeah.
The Flintstones film, live action, had glasses. And I remember the Batman films, even the third one with Val Kilmer, had glasses at like Burger King. And I don't recall them doing glasses after that, really. That was kind of like the tail end of it. And I could be wrong, but I don't remember these restaurants doing that again. But that was a huge, big deal. Yeah. And not only glass glasses, but also plastic cups.
Yeah, they had
cups. It was a big one. The solid, the ones you could take home and use again. Even places like 7-Eleven did that. Yeah. They have 7-Eleven, I think, has a huge lot of like Marvel ones that they did in the 70s.
Oh, really?
Pretty hard to find.
But people still collect those things and they seek them out. And sometimes you go to Goodwill, Value Village, and you'll see them. And then, we always look at it, but then they want like $10 a glass.
They want something crazy. They want something like full price for it.
I mean, it didn't cost that much when you got it from McDonald's and Burger King.
It was
now you want $10.
Once upon a time, it was 49 cents. And if you're buying it on auction and you paid $10 on eBay, that's one thing. But I don't expect to pay $10 for it at Value Village, or more. Or the posters. Like one of my Star Wars journeys was recovering the 4 original Star Wars posters from Burger King / Burger Chef, because they both had it, and framing and matting them, and I've got them hanging in the hallway, because those are the posters that I had in the 70s from Burger King that I had acquired from there. It was a big deal.
Yeah, and even the display stands, because when they had new promotions, they had the display stands and the cutouts and all of that stuff. People still seek that out. They sell that too. So, I mean, all of that stuff has died as society has moved on and people, I guess, forgot about it. They phased out of it. They grew out of all of that,
or they were squeezed out of it, because again, remember, the reason that a lot of these restaurants made that transition was I know, like Kentucky Fried Chicken and International House of Pancakes, they abbreviated their names to try to be trendy. And when they did that, they tried to target a more adult audience and got away from specializing in interest to children. So International House of Pancakes became IHOP. Kentucky Fried Chicken became KFC. And they went through those abbreviations.
Even Burger King tries to call themselves BK.
Yeah, they became the BK. And they weren't so child-oriented, and it was a big deal. McDonald's became McCafe. And that was them trying to be trendy and also trying to compete with the popularity of Starbucks, which, people can complain they hate Starbucks coffee, but did you taste coffee before Starbucks? Because Starbucks changed how coffee was viewed. Because if you came from if you were anywhere else in the world, you had a real coffee. If you came to America, you had a cup of dirt. The stuff tasted like shit. And that was the point Starbucks was making, just for reference, because people pick on Starbucks a lot because they don't like them because of their politics, really. Oh, I hate Starbucks, but the coffee they have there is better than anything you had before 1990. And
they still go to Starbucks and buy that.
They still go there and spend $10 on a coffee.
I've never bought a coffee from Starbucks.
But, the point being that they changed how coffee was viewed in the United States. So it's significant. But that change was so significant, all these other restaurants tried to copy them, and that's how you ended up with McCafe. But when they went through that transition, they had to get rid of something.
Yeah, all of the kid-friendly stuff. The stuff that cause you to want to go there. And like, ooh,
even
Mommy,
as an
Daddy.
adult.
Yeah, and I know some people used to love taking their kids there because it meant something to them too, because they remember going as a kid. So they took their kids there, once a week or so they could have that experience. It's like, now I had the experience with my parents, now I want to have that experience with my child. And I think it's just kind of washed away. I mean, yeah, you can still say, every Sunday me and my kid go to Burger King or McDonald's or something. But do you still have that feeling? Do you take them to the playground, playland, and watch them jump around and play on the little stuff. You don't have the grimace and the burglar cage, and then you pretending you're in jail and doing a slide and riding on Birdie's back. That's not there. All you got is those stupid balls that you jump in and out.
Oh, the ball pit and the slide.
Yeah.
That they have at a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but that was a good point, that you would bring your kid because you remember your experience, and you wanted to share that nostalgia with the child, but that nostalgia's not there to share anymore.
But you don't have that same gleam in your eye. It doesn't give you that same feeling. Now it's, okay, I'm trying to recapture a good moment I had with my parents, and I'm trying to give that to my kid, but I don't feel that same joy or warmth or whatever. I don't feel that. So now it's like, okay, we're going to McDonald's. I'm trying to recapture a moment that's just not there.
Yeah.
You know.
And they used to do events. I mean, do they still do birthdays at those places?
I don't think they do.
I don't know.
I don't know, because I did. No, that was something else. I was going to say, because I remember seeing on like Facebook or some pictures this couple that got married, and after the wedding everybody went to McDonald's.
I remember that. She looked so mad.
Yeah, and the husband was just happy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the birthday. They just went and ordered food, you know. But when I was a kid, they had the McDonald's birthday, and you got the birthday cake, a little Happy Meal, and all of that. But I don't think they do that
Burger
anymore.
King did that. A lot of places would cater to that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they still have it. I don't know if they still do that or not.
Yeah.
And they used to do other events. Like one big one for me, childhood memory, was the Burger King, because Burger King was closer to me than McDonald's was. That they had the association with Lucasfilm, because that's where all the Star Wars merchandise was coming from. Every time a film came out, Burger King had the contract, and they used to have the Coca-Cola R2-D2, and it was a full size, fully operational remote control. And they would have someone in the back, remote control, operating it, and it had a camera. He could see out of this thing. But it was the Coca-Cola R2-D2, and it looked like they made miniatures of it. It was very similar to R2-D2, except it had Coca-Cola printed on it. And they would do, Star Wars event. The Coke 2D2 is going to be at Burger King, and you'd come and see it, and it was there. And rolling around in the restaurant, and there's a ton of kids. And I know McDonald's would do a thing where they had professional Ronald clowns. Yeah. They all look fairly the same. It's not the same actor, and it's not the same guy from the show. I mean, from the commercial. But they would look very similar, and I remember seeing them and even bringing my kids to a couple of those in the early 90s. And you're gonna go to meet Ronald, and he was a professional clown that was hired on as a Ronald clown, and he could sing and tell stories and juggle in the whole 9 yards, and they would circulate to the different McDonald's as an event, and I don't think they do that anymore.
I don't even know if Ronald McDonald still exists.
Yeah, when's the last time you saw Ronald in a commercial? I don't know.
When the last time you heard about Ronald? I mean, I know they got the Ronald McDonald house. I'm sure that's probably still around.
They still use him as a mascot, because you see him like sometimes in the bench, like at the Walmart. If they have a McDonald's at the Walmart, they might have the bench with the plastic Ronald sitting on it.
But you don't see him in the commercials anymore, because not every, but nearly a good 50% of the commercials had Ronald McDonald in it. Because he was McDonald's.
And it was a theme, because they had the whole McDonald land, and they would tell a little story. And I think especially the Christmas ones, people really remember very well. Yeah. Those really stood out in people's memories.
And they were long. Those commercials were long, like more than 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
They're like 30, 45 seconds.
Like a minute long, easy. Yeah. Because I've got a few of those on like my commercial blocks that I put up on this channel of the Christmas 80s McDonald's. And yeah, it's a whole little story, and it brings back that fuzzy feeling for a lot of people, like, oh my God, I remember that. But they don't have that anymore.
Yeah. So, I mean, those things, I can't say that they're dying. I think they're dead. Yeah. Can it be resurrected? I believe it can't, because McDonald's is a franchise. I don't know if you have to, if you say, I'm going to get a franchise of McDonald's, I don't know if you have to use that building, or if you can say, okay, I'm gonna recreate the McDonald's I knew, and I'm going to have the building built like it was in 1980, yeah, and furnish it like 1980, put the playland outside, and make it kid-friendly again.
I believe you could, because I think if it's a franchise, the rule is you have to purchase all your materials through the main company. Right. So you have to buy their bags, you have to buy their food, you know, whatever. But wear their uniforms. Right. Yeah.
But the building, I think you can do it, because isn't it in Kansas where somebody has a McDonald's and it's like the 50s?
Yeah.
The building looked like the 50s.
He's got like posters of Elvis, and he's got like he has like a jukebox in there and all kinds of, it's got a theme. Yeah, you're right. It's near the mall in Topeka,
Kansas. So, I mean, I think if a couple of people around, I bet you they would get, even though it's the same food and it's bad, people would come for the nostalgia of it all. Man, this is the McDonald's I remember. Yeah. This is the McDonald's I grew up with.
Wouldn't you like to go into a Pizza Hut again and
sit down,
actually into an actual restaurant with booths and arcade tables,
yeah,
like they used to have,
and actually sit down, order your pizza. You know, the girl comes to the table. Can I take your order? Because they used to come to the table and take your pizza order. Not you go to the counter and then sit down.
And then they call your name.
Yeah. And then they give it to you in a box. They used to come to the table, take the order, go in the bag. 30 minutes later, you come out with a pizza, and they set it on the table, cut it up for you, and do all of that. Now, you can't even go. I know it was one holdout here in the Atlanta area.
Buffet in the afternoon only.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time, the restaurant was closed, I think.
No, it was open.
Was it open?
But the only time they had business, people would come during lunchtime.
Buffet was packed.
For the buffet.
Yeah.
It was packed. And they opened, you know, buffet started at like 11:30 to 1 or 2 or something. But it was packed during that time. And it's like, okay, you see that this is something.
It's working.
People want this. The other times you could go in and you could order, but you were going to be the only one in there. Maybe one other person, and you watch Oprah. But, you know, it was there. And I think if people would try, you could resurrect it.
Yeah.
I think it could be resurrected.
I agree.
If somebody had the...
I'd be curious.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I would go just to, you know, check it out and look at it. If it's close by, I would go often.
And even if you could, especially if you could procure vintage style uniforms.
Yeah, the uniform. Well, I would rather the furnishings more than the uniform. Yeah, the uniforms would be good too.
Because I mean, I don't think the employees would really care.
No, but, they just want their check.
Yeah, but I think that would help to with the feel of it.
Yeah.
And have actual moniker boards instead of those TVs where you have to where it's got the pegs.
No, you ain't got to go that far back.
I would go that far.
The digital board is fine, because I remember the boards, and then at you had to change it, and you had to wind it up, and it would flip.
Yeah, those were light boards.
Yeah,
the light boards.
The ones they got now is the digital board. But when I worked there, you had to wind it. When you wanted to change from breakfast to lunch, you wind it up and it would roll back to the
and
to
it's
the
got
lunch.
The fluorescent light on the inside. It would shine through.
Did it have light?
Yeah, it should have had a row of like fluorescent lights.
Maybe it did.
So
I don't remember that. I remember just that you had to roll it, and then we had this one tall guy that could reach, and if he wasn't there, then somebody had to get on a step stool so they could turn it, and then it would roll back. And then somebody in the back would always like, it's 11:30, change the board. And then you change the board. But yeah, the one they got now is fine. But I would rather have the building like the 80s, the furnishings like the 80s, the playland outside.
Yeah. With
the 80s play set. You know, Birdie and the jailhouse and all of that.
Yeah, I think it could work.
I think so.
But what do you guys think? Do you think it would work? Tell us what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, or what do you miss from that?
Yeah.
You know, get the conversation going. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. We hope you did. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. And is that it?
Yeah.
Well, if that's it, then what more can we say but thanks for watching. And we will see you again soon.